Hey up guys, how are we doing? I'm the Autistic biker. Let me go, thank you. I appreciate that, matey. Let's get through here. Always give thanks. Always give a thanks. Nice day, nice weather. So, I just wanted to do this and put this, make another video, put another video together. Been meaning to do this one actually for quite some time, if I'm honest. So yeah, I do just want to know, right? So let me just ask you and put it out there, right? And I'm going to tell you mine in a bit and why. And I'm going to, I'm going to share mine with you and tell you why. And also as well, I do want you to comment, obviously only if you want to, you don't have to, but please feel free to comment and tell me yours. And why as well, the reason why. But, so what is what is the best thing you do actually love the most about a motorbike ride? Yeah? It's sort of one of them questions, isn't it, where, because it sounds so easy and simple, because it's such a simple and easy question, you do probably know what I'm going to say now, don't you? Probably. Yeah, it's that much of like an easy, simple question. So much and so many ideas, thoughts and visions and answers can come into your head all at once. That's where it can be hard. It's probably too much of an easy question for you to even possibly begin to know. Do you know what I mean? To even possibly, you probably don't even know where to begin, how to even answer it. It's probably that hard. But you get what I'm trying to say anyway. You get my gist. You get my gist. You know what I mean. But so these obviously the most common few hand-selected ones that you can count on your hands, isn't there? There's the views. So there's the views. You know, like the different views and sights and sceneries you pick up. There's the sounds that you might pick up, the different sounds from absolutely just anything and everything. Anything that might, so basically depending on where you are, you might pick up like a very certain type of peculiar, odd, rare sound, depending on where you are and what's happening around you. You know, so there's sound, there's sights, views, scenery, and there's the smells. So like I said, depending on where you are, again, depending on where you are in the world and what time of the year it is as well around you. So what time of year it is, and also depending on where you are in the world, can obviously dictate what type of A, sounds you pick up, B, smells you pick up, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah, please feel free to comment and tell me what is your most number one best favourite thing about a bike ride that you enjoy the most. What do you enjoy the most about a bike ride for when you're out there? Do you know what I mean? Please feel free to comment and just go into as much detail and elaboration as you possibly want to. There's no such thing as chatting too much and talking too much and stuff like that. Please be as methodical, precise, detailed as you possibly want. Even tell a story to me. Even tell a story to me at the end of the day. It's absolutely fine, because I want to hear it, and I've got time in the world for you guys. If you comment, if you have the time for me and comment, I've got the utmost respect and the time for you. Do you know what I mean? I really have. I really have. At the end of the day. So I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you what my favourite, most best thing is about a bike ride. Obviously, they are them all, you know what I mean? There's the sights, the scenery, the views, the all different types of walks of life and different variety of lives and everything you pick up from seeing different faces, people, and the feelings that you get from them when you look at them, and etc. There's sight, scenery, views, there's the smells, all different smells you pick up and everything, but there's basically all that. But if I did have to put my finger on one thing, if I'm honest, for me personally, it would be the smell. It would be the smells that you pick up from a bike ride that you can't pick up nowhere near as good as if you would if you were in a car. Basically you're a lot less prone to picking up smells driving a car than you are riding a motorcycle or you're a motorbike. Simply because, for obvious reasons, because in a car you've got your windows up around you and you've got a roof over you, do you know what I mean? You've got everything around you isolating you and basically blocking all them lovely nice smells from them reaching your nose, for them to ignite something in your brain, for them, you know what I mean? And then God knows what the thoughts after that could lead to, but for me personally, my number one all-time best thing about a bike ride, if I'm honest, is it's the smells that you do actually pick up for when you're out there on your bike. I mean, but then what they can do, those smells, is I do think smells are more powerful, if I'm honest, than anything you can see and anything you can hear. Because if you hear something, yeah, it can take you back to a certain, point in time in your life. It's the same way if you see something, it can take you back to a certain point in your life, and it can do something, and basically it's all nostalgic. It's all nostalgia, and I do get that. It is all nostalgic and nostalgia, and it's such a spiritual, magnificent feeling. It really is. But I do think a smell. I do think smells take it to a whole new level, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It takes it to an absolute whole new different level for me. I just think that when you smell something, when you're having a bike ride and you pick up a certain smell, it just ignites something in your brain that it just sparks something in your brain where it's the most powerfulest, nostalgic sort of feeling ever, and it takes you back to a certain point or time in your life, and basically that's my point to do with me saying nostalgic and spiritual. That's my point. I rest my case. Enough said. There's nothing more to say. There really isn't. And should there be anything more to say? There shouldn't be anything more to say. It's just such a powerful, spiritual, nostalgic feeling that you feel and that you pick up for when you smell a certain smell, for when you're riding a motorbike. You know, like on a bike ride. And it takes you back to a certain point in your life, to a certain person in your life, or people, to a certain era and a certain generation in your life. And I'll fucking tell you now, that shit could kill a man. That shit could kill you. It could kill you kindly. It kills you kindly. It really does. It's the nostalgic feeling is something like no other. Yeah, and that's basically it. So just let me give you an example, and then that's it. I was riding through, not through because I'd not actually reached Newark at that point, but I would so let me lift my visor up. There we go. I were on my way to Newark the other day, and I don't know whereabouts I were, but obviously I would doing my normal typical route to Newark, the one that I always take, me being in sort of like a very autistic, orchestrated, you know, rigid sort of routine. I don't like breaking the mould or shaking the mould, as they say. But I was on the way to Newark the other day, and I went past this point. I just went under this like sort of like little tiny bit of a sort of like little tiny sort of like woodland area where you had this sort of like grass bank to your left hand side with these sort of like trees over me. And I just smelled to what I describe to be the conker season, or the conker smell. And in other words, whenever it's conker season, whenever you go into a woodland area to pick conkers, you just have that sort of like smell, don't you? You just have that smell that only comes once a year along with conker season. And I just smell that like conker smell, that conker season. And the time just, and the smell just took me back to my childhood era, my childhood generation, which was 90s. That's when I were in primary school. It's when I went to Stradbrook Primary School in Sheffield. And it just took me back to just being in primary school, Stradbroke Primary School in Sheffield. And I just, this just like, this flush, this spiritual flush wave just came over me, and I just felt so nostalgic. It just felt so nostalgia type, and it was just such a magnificent, weird, bizarre feeling that I physically felt from my body. And it was just magnificent and nostalgic and spiritual. Just reminded me at my 90s childhood. It was just absolutely brilliant. So that's it, guys. I'm going to love you and leave it there. I'm going to end video here shortly. But please feel free to comment and share with me, and share with others and other people. What's your number one best all-time favourite thing about a motorcycle ride? And even feel free to even go into like storytelling. Tell us a story. Tell me a story. Give me an example of where you were, roughly in what year, how many, few days, weeks, months, years ago, whenever it were. And whatever you saw, heard, smelled, or even came across, or that just took you back to a certain point, a certain time in your life that just hit you so hard with such a powerful nostalgic feeling. And let's see if others out there as well can relate to what you're saying. I'd love to hear your stories, I really would. So much love, peace and respect from me, the Autistic Biker. I will love you and leave you there. I've said that about 3-4 times now. I think 3, but yes, I will do that. Love you and leave you. And please remember, if you are riding, please ride safe. Okay? So please ride safe. So bye bye for now. Ta-ta.